Welcome to this class. You have made a very wonderful decision to take this course. My name is Johnson. I'll be your instructor, and I'll just quickly run you through the highlight of this course. In this course, you'll be learning, CCTV monitoring, software operations. I'll be showing you CCTV troubleshooting also, then CCTV servicing, basic computer networking. All right. This is a very good training that you need to have to be able to be qualified for a lot of jobs. I've done a lot of physical training when it comes to CCTV operator, for corporate organization, from banking to port operation to factory and industries. All right. So this is me anchoring the training for CCTV operators for a particular company here in Lagos. This is a multinational. This is a very huge organization. I won't like to mention names. So this is their control room. They have control room for over close to 100 cameras, and they have another control room. So all the operators have to be trained on how to handle this kind of scenario in case of theft or something happen, how to liaise with the security agencies, how to play back video footages, how to make camera clearer and all. So we've done a lot of training around that area. In this training, we'll show you how to, set up and understand the basic wiring configuration for your CCTV control room. In case you find yourself in a very big organization, very big company that have different setup, you have to be able to understand what they did, like how they link all the devices together, just by looking at this, topology and how to interpret all the diagram and the, devices. Like for instance, this is a decoder, this is an NVR, this is a switch, these are your camera product, this is your joystick. So this controls the PTZ camera, and this is your video controller that links to all the screens via HDMI. You have to understand this part as a, CCTV operator. So in case of issues or problem, you know how to attend, how to address it. Okay. So you learn a lot in this course. This is just the brief, objectives of this course. And one catch again is that we'll show you basic IT and support training. You have to understand basic IT and support, how the network, works, how computer networking works, wired and wireless, how to do basic routing and switching. Just understand it, have an idea of all these things, because you find yourself in, different part of the world and you're in the control room, something happened, you should be able to attend and answer it and fix it so you can have more advantage over your competitors and your peers. So this is a very, very, very huge opportunity, and you have to make use of this to the fullest, as the sky is so huge. There's a lot of job opportunity for CCTV operators. All right. So for instance, you can work, as a security and surveillance expert for a company with this information you're going to be getting this training. You can also work as a law enforcement and investigation, professionals. So you're working with the police, with the military, advising them, setting up control rooms and all. Even in retail and business monitoring, you can have this training and start setting up, working for companies, installing cameras for them with the information you're going to be getting here. Then also traffic management. For instance, now a lot of countries or cities in Nigeria, for instance, that are installing cameras. We recently concluded Oyo State government, a POC for surveillance camera to capture plate numbers of every traffic offenders and record their plate numbers and also record their vehicles as they're jumping the traffic. So you can package yourself and go and collect all these jobs to monitor this system, because most of the time they set up this system, they don't have enough hands or capacity or people to be able to handle these roles. So you can fit in. Then also IT network and system support. Like I said, we'll teach you basic local networking and wireless networking, how it works, so you'll be able to have an edge. Then also smart building management also, right? Then there's a lot of job opportunity for operators. There's a lot of opportunity all over the world. You can see. Just type to your ChatGPT and check opportunities for operators all over the world, in every region of the world, because people install cameras and there's nobody to man it. So a lot of countries are looking for trained operators to sit down and mount their CCTV cameras for them. We have done several training. In fact, a lot of companies in Nigeria, they are really, really hiring operators. with experience. So with this training, you have the full experience of uh, CCTV operators, your roles, your responsibility. Thank you very much. See you in class. Welcome back to this course. This is the module for this course. We'll be having module 1 to module 9, which will be very straight to the point. No need to waste time. So module 1 to 9, let's go straight into it. Let's start with module 1, which is introduction to CCTV. Because as a CCTV operator, you have to have a foundation of how CCTV network works, both the IP solution and the HD analog solution. So let's get straight into the class. Okay, so 1.1, we have the closed circuit television, CCTV. That's actually the meaning. CCTV means closed circuit television. It's a security system used for surveillance and monitoring. Basically, it consists of the following. You have to know this now. These are one of the interview questions. They can tell you to label or name 5 devices in a CCTV network, or devices that make up a CCTV network. You have to be able to mention more than 5 or 10. All right. Number 1, we'll say camera. Camera just does basically capture footage. It captures the video footages, either for analog or for IP. It's just capturing. That's his work. If you say that something is a system, it means it's a combination of different devices that work together. So the system of camera, the camera alone is doing its own work, which is capture. Then we have the DVR or the NVR, which is a recorder for storing footages. They store basically. All right. Then we have the cables or power supply. Cables and power supply. Those are the devices that run the data from the camera to the DVR or NVR, and the power the system. All right. Because nothing work without power. We know that. Then we have the display monitor. Just for view, for live view and playback, live view of recorded footages. Then the storage, HDD storage or cloud. So you save the video that the camera is capturing into a storage device, which is the hard disk, or they do cloud storage. Cloud storage is basically some servers, some storage devices over the internet that you can pay them and you can store your video footages on their network, on their servers. Okay, so let's look at the components in reality, in connection. This is the DVR system, and this is the back of the DVR. This is how it looks like. It has ports like this. We'll call it the BNC port. Then this is the BNC cable. The cable that is linking to the DVR back is the BNC cable. Then if you look at the red cable, is for power source. Then the camera also has a power input and BNC inputs. That's the connection basically. So if you see a CCTV network for analog, this is what they did. It might not be 10 cameras, 20 cameras, 30 cameras. Then if you see for IP, this is what they did, which is IP PoE. The NVR has a port at the back that carry videos and power. This port you are seeing at the back of the NVR is carrying video and power footages, and power to the camera, back to and through to the camera. So the camera gets its power from that port because it's a PoE camera and this is a PoE NVR. Okay, so let's continue. So this is the basic wiring. This is how it works. This is the direct wiring topology. So all the cameras are being wired to the PoE switch. From the PoE switch to the LAN port of the NVR, you can see. Then we have the internet for uplink. This is the internet network that gives access to this device, because without internet you cannot watch it from anywhere in the world. So it's better you understand that internet is the reason why cameras can be watched from anywhere in the world. Without internet you cannot watch it. All right, without the internet, either for HD solution or for IP solution, without internet you cannot watch it. So if you have 8 cameras, you have to wire all the 8 cameras to this PoE switch, then to the NVR. For DVR, to the DVR and to the TV and power supply, connection like that. Okay, let's go straight into it. So let's look at the features of IP cameras. Number 1, we say day and night. Day and night means that they can capture video, in day and night. They have Wi-Fi features, but it's optional. They can be viewed on the mobile device and the computer on their own, which is camera on its own. Then they are mostly waterproof. That's the outdoor version. Then they have SD card slot for memory card on board. But when you are buying that, you have to mention it that your memory card cameras. Then it has a PTZ function. Then it has motion sensor. Now, the basic difference between analog and IP, you can see it here. Analog uses an DVR, while IP uses an NVR. That analog camera uses a DVR, that digital video recorder, but for IP uses NVR, which is network video recorder. You have to pay attention to that. It's very important. All right. So we have to explain front end to you. What is front end? Because you get to some areas, some countries, for instance, you go to China, they call it front end. The technical people call it front end. What are front end devices? These are the list of equipment that you can see in a surveillance environment. What you can see with your eyes. From the dome cameras to the bullet cameras, the PTZ, the wireless, different kind of camera that your eye can see. They are the front end devices. So these are example of front end devices and their types. We have the dome camera. That's the dome. Look at the shape. It's round. That's the dome. We have the bullet for HD and IP. We have the PTZ camera. The PTZ, the PTZ. The P means pan. The camera can be pan. Then tilt. It can be tilted, and zoom. It's zoomable. You can zoom in from far distance to short distance. Then we have the solar 4G cameras. We have the fisheye cameras, and we have the covert camera. So these are the front end devices. You have to have this information first. Can tell you what are the front end, name 10 front end devices or 5 front end devices and their types. You should be able to explain. These are the front end devices. This is the very end of this lesson. See you in the next lesson. Thank you. Welcome back to this class. This is 1.2. We're talking about types of cameras, lenses, and mounting equipment. Okay, so let's go straight into it. So we have different types of camera out there, different types. But these are the basics and the major one that you see most time in the field or anywhere you find yourself. There are other type of camera actually. So we have the dome camera. You can look at the dome camera, the first one up here, because of that's number one. Because of the shape, that's why it's dome. Look at the shape; it's round with a flat soft bottom and a round, frame with a lens. They're ideal for ceiling mount. This camera are meant to be mounted on the ceiling, on the roof of your house, maybe like a ceiling in the room, in a lobby, the roof side, just mounting on the ceiling, Then the number two, we have the bullet camera. These are bullet camera because of the shape. They call them bullet camera. When I see different camera that looks like this, they call them bullet camera. They are mostly outdoor cameras, while the dome is for indoor purposes. Then we have the thermal imaging cameras. The thermal cameras are basically used for thermal imaging for maybe like forests or border patrol, border protection, because you can see up to many kilometers. It senses the heat that human beings emit from their body. Every human being tends to emit some kind of heat. So this camera can capture the heat even in thick forest. You can see that human being is walking and moving around. Right? That is thermal imaging camera. Then we have the PTZ camera. These are cameras that can be pan, tilted, and zoom. PTZ. The P stands for pan, the T for tilt, the Z for zoom. So the lens can be pan and be tilted and be zoomed. Okay? So we have the box camera. This is another type of camera. Box camera. This camera can be very focal. You have to buy a casing for it. You have to buy a casing separately for it. Then we have the fisheye camera. This fisheye camera, the way the fisheye usually is, you can see like 360 or 180 view. So that's how this camera also sees. It's ideal for conference room, for ceiling mount. It's a ceiling mount type of camera. Don't mount it on the wall because of the view. It will not give you a good view. Then we have lenses, type of lenses. We have a fixed lens. Let me explain. Fixed lens means that if you're buying the camera, you look at the label, they write 4mm. The 4mm is the size of the lens. It's fixed. You cannot change it. You cannot come down to 2mm. You can't go above 4mm. It's 4mm, it's 4mm. So the typical dome camera ideal lens size is 2.8mm. 2.8mm because you need a wider view. All right. Then we have the varifocal lens. The varifocal means that the lens of the camera, lens is just the lens, just like your phone lens. The lens varies. You can adjust the lens size between 2.8 to 12mm. most time. You can adjust it the way you want. All right. Then we have the zoom lens that you can zoomable lens. Those are the lenses we have on the PTZ camera. They are zoomable. So we have different kind of lenses, but these are the major ones you find out there or anywhere you find yourself. Okay. So we have the monitoring equipment also. We have to know the monitoring equipment, which are the equipment you find in the control room. We have the monitors, which can be a TV, the typical TV you have in your house, or a video wall, or a projector. Some people use projector to project via HDMI. Then we have the NVR, which stands for network video recorder. Network video recorder. So they are ideal for network cameras, just like the way the name implies, network video recorder. So for network camera. Then we have the VMS software, which is video management software, VMS software. So these are the software that you sit down in the control room for analytics, for video processing, for copying out of video from the servers, for saving video on a computer, so it's a very smart application. So you have to know how to use it. When we get to the machine side, we'll power it on for you to see. Then we have the infrared. Infrared. These are what allow the camera to see at night. They use the infrared technology to see at night, and the technology is really moving very fast. Before we usually have infrared. Infrared are those small dotted lights you see around the camera in the night that shows like red. Those are the infrared old school version of light. But now there's XIR, which is extended infrared. The new technology is better than the infrared. It sees better. It sees clearer at night. So let's compare and contrast both of them side by side. If you can look at the image, one is the infrared, the other one is the XIR, which is the latest innovation. All right, you have to know that part for night vision. Okay, so this is the list of devices that you'll be needing for a CCTV camera installation. Number one, you need your DVR, and the DVR comes in 4 channel, 8 channel, 16 channel, 32 channel, 64 channel, 128, like that, up like that. All right. You need your bullet cameras, which will capture the videos. You need your monitors, which is your TV or monitor. You need your hard disk, is very important. And hard disk comes in 1 TB, 2 TB, 5 TB, 8, like that. This will determine the number of months you have storage on your device. It's very important to know this part. Then we have the power supply that will power the analog cameras. We have the USB mouse for controlling the system. You need a mouse to control it. It's very important to know that. Then for analog or HD camera system, you need the coaxial cable. Just like your DSTV cable, that's what you run from each of the camera to your DVR station. Then you need electrical wire sometimes to do your power, sometimes, right? So this is very important. You have to understand this part because this is your foundation to CCTV. Because if you want to man a control room, you have to know what is there, right? So this is the end of this class. See you in the next class. Welcome back to 1.3. Let's go back into the class. Okay, so we're talking about types of CCTV cameras here. We have the IP camera or IP CCTV network camera. IP camera, and we have the HD analog. So you have to understand the difference. I'll just run you through the basic difference now. The IP cameras, the IP there stands for Internet Protocol, meaning that each of the camera can be assigned an IP address. That the camera on its own can take an IP address. That's number one difference. Alright? It can work on its own. It can transmit video and audio over the network. Alright? That's the IP camera. It provides high resolution, usually clearer. It comes with 1 MP, 2 MP, megapixel, 4 megapixel, 5, 10, 15, 20 megapixel. So it's super clear. It comes in high resolution. It allows remote access via mobile devices and computer. That means individually, the camera itself can be watched from anywhere in the world. Then we also allow NVR connection for storage. It can be linked to an NVR, to a network video recorder. Okay. It also supports advanced features like motion detection, AI, cloud storage, AI analytics, intrusion detection, line crossing detection, people counting. It has a lot of smart functions because it's a network-based camera. It's not just a normal local camera you can find anywhere. All right. Then it also requires a stable internet connection for seamless operation. That's if you want to watch it from the internet. For local view, you don't need any internet. If you want to stream over the internet, that's why you need good internet. All right. And this is the HD solution. This is the HD analog solution system. It uses coaxial cable. The coaxial cable is like your normal DSTV cable you see everywhere. That's the coaxial cable. You can see it supports HD format like AHD, HDTVI, HDCVI. It can deliver up to 4K resolution. So this AHD you are seeing, there are different technology used by different manufacturers. All right, it has their own advantages and disadvantages. For instance, iGvision uses HDTVI and Daoa uses HDCVI technology to transmit video and data over their coaxial system, which is for analog solution. Then they are more affordable. An average camera can cost like 8,000, 10,000, 15,000. If you go to Alaba, you see 5,000. Right? Alaba is a very big market in Nigeria, so 5,000 you see a camera. Then use digital video recorder, which is a DVR. It can work with a DVR. It only works with a DVR. You can see the port of the DVR at the back. That's how it works. Unlike the IP camera that can work on your network, can link it to your switch or to your router, but this one cannot. All right. So it has limited remote access features compared to the IP system. That is ideal for upgrading older analog system without rewiring, because it uses the coaxial cable that you already have in your house. So you don't need to change any wires, you can just use it. That's what they're saying there. Okay, so HDCTV camera transmission medium, that's for you to transmit video on the network. You need this following. You have to understand that you need the BNC cable and the power cable, which is item 1. Item 2 is the coaxial and the power cable. Item 3 is the power connector. Item 4, you see a pre-terminated cable. You can just buy it like this and go and run it instead of terminating from beginning yourself. They sell it in 10 meters, 15 meters, 20 meters, any distance you want. All right. Then we have the power supply box. This is the generic one you see everywhere, and this is the iGvision power supply box. So this is the typical wiring for the system. You have to study this wiring. You see that this camera uses power. The power, the red and black cable that goes to the adapter, and the black cable is the coaxial cable that goes to the DVR video input. You can see all the camera, then the mouse control just for you to play back, then internet access, then the HDMI to the screen, so you can see what is showing on the box. But mind you, there's a hard disk inside the DVR for recording. Without an hard disk, you cannot record. So it's important you know that part. You have to record all the footages. It now also depends on the number of days or months you want. The higher the terabytes, 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte, 4 terabyte, the longer days you can record. You have to know that. But for the IP solution, this is the HDIP digital camera solution. This is the solution you have to use to do the transmission. You use network cable, Cat6 cable. You can use a PoE switch for power over Ethernet. You use fiber optic cable with media converter, and that's the RJ45 connectors. You terminate your cable, you crimp it, or you use your PoE splitter. These are all for IP solution, right? So this is the typical connection diagram for the PoE. So the power and data is traveling over that network cable from the camera to the switch, all right? So this is the connection. Then from there to your router, then straight to your NVR for video transmission. So it's very straightforward, and you have to understand this part as a CCTV operator, because any control room you are finding yourself, they must have done all this connection for you already, and this is exactly what they did. They might be different because of the topology. They might be using star topology to link the network, or mesh topology. All right, so this is the end of this lesson. I'll see you in the next lesson. Thank you. Welcome back to this class. This is 1.4. We'll be talking about the transmission equipment and video distribution system for CCTV. Okay, so for the transmission equipment here, we'll talk about the coaxial cables. Like I explained, these are equipment that are used to transmit video from the camera end to the control room. So every control room you see, there are cable behind, cable that wire each of these cameras to the control room, except it's a wireless solution. You get, so there has to be a medium of connectivity, medium of connection like connecting the devices, which is the camera, to the control room or to the service floor or switch, which is the transmission devices. Number one that you cannot avoid is cable. Whether you're doing wired or wireless, that has to be cable because you have to run power to your equipment. So we have the coaxial cable, we have the twisted pair cable, we have the fiber optic cable, we have the wireless transmitters and receivers, we have the encoders and decoders, then we have the PoE switches. PoE. PoE means power over Ethernet. It means that you can carry video and power over a single network cable, which is the Ethernet cable, all right, which is the one right above my right here. The first one on the right up, that's the network cable. It comes in the STP or UTP, which is the shielded twisted pair and the unshielded twisted pair. The shielded is the aluminum foil that is covering the one below, and the UTP is not shielded. If you look at it well, you see that one foil is covering one, the other one is not being covered. Okay. So the CCTV transmission equipment and video distribution continuation. You can see once video is transmitted, it must be distributed to various monitoring points effectively. Number one, we have the splitter for distribution, we have the matrix switchers, then we have the video network recorders, which is the NVR, network video recorders, then the DVR, that's where you can transmit your video to, all right? Then we have the cloud storage, which is your servers, where you can just save your videos on the cloud, all right? So it's important to understand all these things as a CCTV operators. It's very important to understand them. When we are doing the practical, we'll show you all these devices in the control room, in the typical control room setting, so you can understand furthermore. Because you're going to be seeing them at your work site. Okay? Let's talk about the backend devices. The backend devices are the list of equipment at the server room or control room. So if you go to a build bank now, very big building or structure, you see the cameras, which is the front end. Like I explained earlier on, you see transmission devices. You might not even see those ones because they are cable. They are concealed, maybe conduit. They're in the ceiling, they're in different locations. But the back-end devices is inside the control room. It's only for the CCTV operators or the technical department to see them because they are supposed to be kept safe in case of intruders. Because most intruders now, when they attack, they go to the control room and vandalize your system because they know that the hard disk is stored inside you know, the NVR or DVR, and all the videos are there. So they just go there and pick it up. So you have to pay attention to your controls. It has to be safe, it has to be locked up, it has to be secure. So the equipment in the back end are the NVR, network video recorders, the joysticks for controlling. You can see the gear there is for moving the camera up, left, right, and down, and center. You can move it around. Select the camera on the screen and move it around. It's important. You get that point? Then we have the DVR, the digital video recorder is still for storage, is in the control room also. Then the core switch, PoE switch, they aggregate all the cameras in the control room together for viewing. Okay, so other ones here, we have the iCentral software server. This is a server that basically do analytics, the video server, the VMS. This particular one is by Vision. There are a lot of other VMS in the market that you can check. All right, this is just one, it's very popular in the market. Then we have the iCentral software. We have the IVMS for the 200 software. It's a free software by Vision for their product. The proprietary software for only their product. All right, for strictly their product. So if you are buying other products, you can try their own software. Every manufacturer have their own software for their product. Okay, so this is a PTZ camera and a joystick. A joystick is basically used to control, to move. You can see the keypad. It has number. You can select camera 1, camera 2. Then use that gear to move the camera around. You can move it left and right, up and down. You can shake it and move it and tilt it. All right, that's the work of the joystick, strictly for movement and zooming, focusing and all for your camera. This joystick can be connected to your NVR or DVR and can control up to, it depends. Some can control up to 254 cameras. Some can do up to 100 cameras. All right. So 100 PTZ camera. PTZ means pan, tilt, and zoom. So you use this joystick for basically a camera that can do pan, tilt, and zoom. All right. You need to understand that part as a CCTV operator. When we get to the live demo practical, you'll see all these things. Thank you very much. See you Welcome back to this class. This is Module 2 of the CCTV Operator and IT Support Training. You are going forward gradually. Let's continue progressing together. Okay, so in this module, we'll start with recording and playback procedures. Basically, we set all the camera capture video, we store it inside the DVR for HD analog solution and for NVR in the IP solution. So inside the DVR and the NVR, there's an hard disk inside which is responsible for storing these videos. Okay, so it's from camera, it goes to the hard disk. The data goes inside the hard disk. So the NVR or DVR can now play it back either on recording mode of continuous or motion. Continuous recording means that your camera or your NVR is set to record 24/7. It's always recording, whether there's movement or there's no movement. In some sensitive environment where there's always motion, it's ideal you do continuous. Since there's always motion, let it be recording continuously. Then in some other area where there's no motion all the time, you can do recording. So once there's motion, it record. When there's no motion, it does not record. So you can save your space and save your time of rewinding. As a professional also, you have to know that you have to sit down and time is money. You are sitting down playing camera from morning to night. It can be very stressful and tiring. So you need to know that motion recording is better depending on the client's or the environment requirements. Okay, so let's go to the next class. Next slide. Okay, so we have HDD and NAS, which is responsible for storing of this data. We have a computer hard disk in the market. The computer hard disk will work if you put it inside. As far as SATA interface, to work, but it will not last because this surveillance hard drive, they are designed to read and write and transfer data all at once at the same time, very fast. All right, compared to the regular computer hard disk, the surveillance hard drive is very reliable. It can do playback, it can do write and read all the time. But your normal laptop or your desktop hard disk is meant to record or work for some time and you shut down your PC once you are done. So you have to buy a surveillance hard drive once you are, you know, advised to do surveillance storage system for camera system. You have to advise your employer, but they can ask you in your interview. You have to know this, area. Okay, it's very important. Then also, we have the option of cloud storage or NAS. So NAS is basically a box that has some arrays of hard disks. If you look at this one and this picture, it has 4 bays. You can see each of those compartments is for one hard disk. So they are just, you can put 13 terabytes inside times 4, that's 40 TB. And it can be hooked up to your network or straight to your camera. So all your recordings are done on this NAS. So you have to understand this NAS because for backup of your data of your surveillance system in an organization, they might ask you to advise. You might be doing an interview question now for this your job, or you are working in an organization, you're trying to apply for a new job. They might ask you, how do you store your data? What do you prefer? Give them a solution. Like it might be a practical or real life question. So you have to be able to know about NAS. This is 4 bay. You have 2 bays, you have 6 bays, you have 8 bays NAS. All right. So that's how it works. Okay. So how to play back video from your DVR or NVR is very simple and straightforward. First of all, you just have to access your DVR, your NVR, and go to menu. Using your mobile app or your desktop, your application, or you're using your system VMS. You're running on the system, or you're using your screen, maybe your TV or your monitor. You go to menu and go to playback. Then you select your date and time, and you can now start playing back. You can fast forward, you can rewind, you can zoom in to see details. It's very self-explanatory, just like the way you're using your phone. It's straightforward, it's not complicated. You just have to be able to follow instruction, all right, and be confident and just calm down, be relaxed. Don't be tension, don't allow anybody pressure you. Just calm down, do your thing. All right. Okay. So that's the end of this particular lesson. See you in the next lesson where we'll be doing a lot of other. This is remote access playback and cloud storage, and video content analysis class. We'll explain all these concepts to you because as a CCTV operator, you have to understand these three concepts. It's very, very important. So you can discuss with anybody at that level and break it down to them. When we get to the practical side, you're going to see all these things, practically, but you need to understand the concept first, which is very important. All right, so let's go straight into it. So, remote access is basically allowing the owner of the surveillance to watch it from anywhere in the world, and that will work with internet. Internet at both sides, precisely very fast internet is needed. So the owner of the surveillance infrastructure or the MD of the control room can have access to all the cameras. If it's for residential or office, they can watch it and share it with other friends and family for them to also view. For the industry, for the surveillance industry, these are the two giants right now all over the world. Vision, these guys are taking over the world because they are Chinese brand, they are reliable and they are affordable. Chinese, the way they do their thing. Then also Dahua too is a Chinese brand. These are the two biggest manufacturers, distributors of products, when it comes to surveillance all over the world. So for iVision, their platform for remote view is eConnect. It's very easy. Just scan the QR code under your NVR or under your camera to add your device. The same thing with Dahua, or you can use serial number to add devices. Remote access is very important. You have to understand that part. Then cloud storage is basically is a server that is hosted on the internet that all your video can be saved on it in case of damage or vandalization. Because robbers now, when they come to vandalize, when they come to steal, they go to your control room and move your box, which is your NVR or DVR. So the control room has to be safe at all time. So the control room environment has to be always locked with access control. You have to know who comes in and who goes out in a control room, which is a surveillance room. It's very important. Credentials, everybody has to be recorded. Okay, so that's that. Let's talk about the video content analysis, which is VCA. Some people call it smart functions. This is basically using AI intelligence, algorithm to analyze video and make some certain decision. All right. The popular uh, smart functions or video content analysis that are very popular in almost every camera in Nigeria or in the world right now is the people counting, which is basically a camera that can count the number of people that is going in and out of a place. We have the line crossing detection solution, we have intrusion detection, we have the basically three of them. They don't mind me for that error. Okay, so we have the facial recognition. Let's explain that. What is facial recognition? It's a kind of camera basically that can recognize face. It can verify face by pinpointing and measuring facial features from a digital image or video. So this camera are very smart. They can pinpoint just like your phone camera, the way you open your phone with your face. It knows your face. It will not open for any other person. So this solution has been embedded into security cameras. All right, even in a time of attendance, so it sees your face, it registers you and clock you in for the attendance, or it opens the door for you. That's facial recognition. They are very smart innovation and we need to embed and understand it work. The people counting. This basically counts the number of people that enter a space. It's ideal for supermarkets, for malls, for a highly secured environment or offices. And then we have the line crossing detection. This basically, as a CCTV operator, you have to understand this. You can draw a line around a fence and say that if anybody crosses the line, the system should notify the surveillance room or beep or make a sound. And you can schedule it and say, okay, between 12 a.m. in the midnight till 6 a.m., I don't want anybody to cross the front of my office. If anybody crosses, beep on my screen in case the person is sleeping. We have the line crossing detection and it can do that effectively for you. Then we have the intrusion detection. Intrusion detection. It basically, you can draw a rectangle in a space and say that if anybody intrudes this area, it should make a sound and alert you. All right, it should alert you when anybody like crosses or enter that rectangle that you have drawn. That is intrusion detection. You have to understand this setup. We'll show you the practical setting it up for Vision product, which is the pacesetter when it comes to security all over the world. So that same experience can be applied to every other brand because they are the pacesetter when it comes to surveillance all over the world. All right. So it's very important you understand how to set up intrusion detection and line crossing detection. When we get to the practical, you see the practical side of that. This is the end of this particular lesson. See you in the next lesson. This is 2.3. We'll be talking about the proper storage, retrieval, and sharing of recorded footages. That's the topic for this lesson. Okay, so proper storage in a surveillance room. So whoever is doing the installation for you guys, you have to ensure as a CCTV operator, you have to mandate anybody that they must use CCTV hard disk for your storage, and they must use high capacity from 6 terabytes to 8 terabytes to 12 to 20 upward like that. 6 terabytes is 6,000 gig. And you know these are videos. They get, because they're high resolution video, they consume space on your storage medium or device. So you have to use high capacity storage device for better and a longer duration of storage. So that's the idea. We'll get to storage calculation so you can have an idea of how to calculate how many camera per terabytes you'll be needing. 4 terabytes, 6 terabytes per camera for motion and continuous recording. When we get to the practical, you see it. So this is very important. You have to understand that there is surveillance hard disk and there is computer hard disk. They are different. So once you are proposing solution, or once you want to get once you get to a CCTV surveillance room as an operator, you have to ensure, you have to audit what they have and ensure that it meets the minimum requirement, which is the storage, the system. Just have an idea of it, or interview or engage your maybe your maintenance person. You want to know what is on ground, what you met. Okay, so retrieval is the access is basically access footages using timestamp searches, motion detection, AI-based analytics for quick identification. This is very important. You have to access your footage using timestamp. What is timestamp? On any video you are retrieving, it has to have a date and time on it. That's how they will know that okay, it's genuine, it's confirmed. So therefore, you have to ensure that your system or your MVR or computer date and time, they are always correct at all time. This issue is peculiar to Vision and maybe DAOA too. After like 3 months or some time, the battery of the MVR will just get bad, just like your watch. All these MVR, they have a battery on board. So the battery keep the date and time up and running, even if they shut it down or off it. The battery on the board, on the motherboard, it will keep the date and time intact. So it won't scatter. You don't have to start from, in 1990 something again. The date will be correct. So the battery, by the time you get bad or you get faulty, the battery gets to get bad, and the date and time of the system will go back to 1990 something. So once you want to play back video, you will be very, very frustrated getting those videos out because the date and time has been scattered. So you have to ensure the date and time is correct. So once you are playing back, ensure you have timestamp on your surveillance footages before you give it to the security agencies as a CCTV operator. It's very important. It's a rule. Don't even miss that part. All right. So sharing the video can now be on a flash drive or on an external storage device that you hand over to the security agencies. Make sure it has a timestamp. Look at the video on this right hand side, down right, you can see it has 12:06, 29 August 2018. That is the date. To have it at the edge on your left hand side, up left also. So once you are giving them that footage, you carry that date for evidence sake. It's very important. Okay, so let's go to cloud storage now. Cloud storage architecture. Cloud server is basically a combination of collection of computers or servers that are sitting somewhere in the world, maybe America or China or Canada. They are in a data center. They have a lot of storage space and they have good internet speed to them. They are always running. They are secured. There are people just push all their videos to it for security reasons over the internet. All right, it's very simple. They just call it cloud storage. It's internet storage. Okay, so look at the popular cloud servers for storage of videos on the internet. We have the Dropbox. Then Ignition to have their own cloud. Dahua has their own cloud. It's just basically computers or servers that is situated somewhere with good internet and good storage capacity, and everybody is dumping their videos there. That is basically cloud. It's not a rocket science. So you can set up your own cloud if you want. All right, okay. So we have Allo. Allo to manufacture cameras. We have Google Drive. We have Vacada. There is a lot of them out there. Okay, so cloud, that's cloud. Then meanwhile, let me do a scenario. This is a live scenario. We have a project somewhere in Nigeria. It's a pharmaceutical company. They have over 162 cameras, and they've had that installation for about 5 years now. We'll be maintaining them. Now, about a few months ago, they called us that they want to have a 6 month storage for their system. So this is what we did for them exactly. And you have to understand this. They said they wanted 6 months recording and storage for 160 cameras. So we asked them for every 1 month, how many storage, how many months, like how many gig, how many terabytes of capacity do you have? They told us. And it's giving them 1 month of recording. That's what they're saving right now on that 160 camera. So that means on 160 camera, they can play back 1 month of footages, and they said they wanted it to be 6 months. So what did we do? We collated all the hard drives in different NVR. We collated it together, and it gave us a particular number. So that number was now multiplied by 30. Well, it was multiplied by 6 rather. Sorry for my error there. We multiply all the total number they gave us by number of months they want. So in our case, it was 100 terabytes. By the time we added all their storage together, it gave us 100 terabytes. We now multiply 100 terabytes times 6 months, which is 600 terabytes. And we'll give them this solution, this hybrid hybrid SAN. It's an hybrid SAN, okay, with this hard drive, which is 20 terabyte times 30 to give us 600 TB. So that was the solution we offered to them. This is just a formula here. Formula we use is total monthly storage capacity multiplied by 6. So their total monthly storage capacity as of now is 100 terabytes for 1 month. That's what they're using. We multiply that by 6. All right? That's a practical scenario. Very practical. All right? So this is exactly what we use. We have to use a gigabit switch. This switch you are seeing up here is a very powerful switch by Huawei. It's an S series switch, all gigabit ports. Then these are the SAN, hybrid SAN, and we use 20 terabytes at this times 30. We just position 10, 10, 10, 10 in each of these, hybrid SAN, and we're able to solve their problem. Now they said they wanted the same thing in their new HQ somewhere in Lagos also. All right, these are real life scenario. I didn't want to put their names and their picture of the solution out there, but that was the scenario that worked. And so you should understand that it's possible. We can say you want 1 year. As a matter of fact, some banks in Nigeria or in America, they have 1 year, 2 year storage of their videos. All right, so it's very important. So nothing is impossible. It's fund, it's resources. All right. So thank you very much. I'll see you in the next class. In this class, we'll be talking about surveillance HDD and SSD, then also data backup. Let's go straight into it. So, if you are to do surveillance solution for any customer, you're supposed to use and you must use surveillance HDD because they are designed and they're optimized for 247 read and write operation. All right, they are quite expensive compared to the regular HDD, but they will solve the problem. That's what they are designed for. They are better for storing larger you know camera footages for continuous reading and writing. That's this recording is working continuously 247. Your computer hard drive is meant to just work for a few hours and you shut down your computer and on it the next day. But this guy is meant to be up 247, right? So we have the SSD. SSD means solid state drives. They are the latest innovation now when it comes to uh, hard drives to storage. Your even most computer now are using SSD. In fact, since SSD because it's better, it's faster, it doesn't consume power like that compared to the normal HDD. All right. So most NVR now they have slot for SSD, so they can be used. Then this can also be used for storage. If you want to copy video out of your NVR for investigation purposes, or you want to save it, because it's rugged compared to the HDD, it will last longer. Then we have data backup. This is a NAS. This is a regular NAS. Network attached storage. That's the meaning of NAS. Network attached storage, meaning that it's meant to be linked to your network. If you have a network of surveillance camera, maybe like 50 or 100, you want to add NAS. NAS will be connected to your network gigabit port to a switch, so you can be able to mirror all your video recording on your machines, on your NVR, to the NAS storage device for investigation or for backup. As a matter of fact, once you are deploying NAS, it's better you don't put it in the same premise with your box, with your NVR. It could be inside another location. So in case of vandalization, they move all your video recording. Your NAS is safe somewhere else. All right, you can see the hard drive. Those are the bays of hard drive inside the NAS. We have a lot of them in the market. We have Synology, Ignition has their own NAS. You know, we have the Dahua NAS also. But Synology is very popular when it comes to NAS. Then QNAP too is very popular when it comes to NAS. All right, so you can back up all your videos, and this is the typical topology. The video has just jumped in. The down video, you can see the video loft cloud adapter. That's the cloud storage. So it links to your NVR via the router. So all the video have been saved on the video loft. The video loft is a cloud server also. It's a cloud adapter. So you aggregate all your camera, the video, and send it over the internet to the server, to the cloud server, which is a storage server. So you need the cloud adapter to do that, right? So the above image is that the other one that all the cameras are linked to a NAS storage, and the NAS storage has an HDMI output to a TV. So it can serve as an NVR, all right, and still do your cloud storage at the same time. So this is very important. You have to understand the topology. You find yourself in a CCTV room, you have to observe and look out for all the connection, all the cable. If possible, do your own sketch. Do your own sketch. So everything will be, because an employer will prefer someone that is tech savvy, that is inquisitive, that wants to do more than somebody that just want to sit down and be watching CCTV on the screen. All right. So let's up our game. Pay attention to details, make your sketches, and anywhere you find yourself, you'll be the first choice. From experience, you'll be the first choice because you understand the topology. When something happens, they want to do anything, they will call you. If the technician person come, or the company change their own maintenance guys, the new maintenance guy, when they come, they'll be looking for you first because they know that you are the only person that understands the network topology. It's not that you were there when they did it, but you pay attention to details. You know all the access switches and the core switch, the cable routes, the fiber cable route. It's very important. Okay, so this is the end of module 2. We're getting there gradually. Thank you so much. See you in module 3. Bye for now. Welcome to module 3. In this module 3, we'll be talking about software operations and AI smart functions in CCTV control room. This module is very important because as a CCTV operator, you'll be sitting down and you'll be operating different software applications depending on what your office is using or what your surveillance room is using. They will be using some popular brands like Ignition to show you and other software in the industry. This module will cover how CCTV software operates and the role of AI in enhancing surveillance. We'll explain it to you briefly. Okay, so we have to introduce you to IVMS or VMS. So VMS means Video Management System. It's a software used to monitor, look at the keyword, monitor, it can record, and it can manage. So monitor in the sense that you can watch on it, you can For instance, you have a system that you can pick one camera and monitor it on your own screen of your computer, that's of your VMS software. Watch it because it's actually a software that is running on a computer, whereas your big screen, they are all in your front. You can monitor the video, you can record on that same your system, and you can manage it, the CCTV footage, as you can copy out footages from the software and analyze it for investigation purposes. It allows live viewing, that you can view camera feeds live. You can have access to real-time camera feeds. It also allows recording and playback. You can record on that VMS and you can play back stored footage from it. You can also do remote access to the VMS software. You can monitor camera from anywhere in the world via apps or web platform. All right? You can just log into the app from anywhere and check your cameras because they have that features. They are a server. They're like a recording server on their own. They have AI integration. They support features like motion detection and facial recognition and a lot more. We cannot mention all of them here. All the features that we have on those our camera, line crossing detection, people counting, you can analyze them, you can set them on your VMS software. You can explore them more on your VMS software. All those AI features, people counting, you can access and configure and set them up, better on your software because software and hardware, which is your camera, interface better since they are from the same manufacturers and they are licensed application. But they have free version that comes with the camera, but you can scale up. You can add, you can buy a higher license if you want more features. All right. So we have SADP too. SADP means Search Active Device Protocol. It's a proprietary protocol. If you say proprietary, if they say anything is proprietary, it means that it's from the manufacturer of that product. For instance, Ignition made these tools proprietary to their product. So it only detects only their product, which is their camera, their DVR, their NVR, their access control, their decoders, all their products. You can detect it. So if you have a huge network of over 200 cameras, 300 cameras, 500 cameras, you cannot start managing them one after the other. You need a tool that will discover all the cameras and show you all of them. Then from here, you can assign IP address, you can check their port number, you can check their software version number, which is the firmware. You can check their IP address, their gateway, their ports, the serial number. The serial number will give you an idea of the name, device type, DSK57671ZU. This will tell you, oh, this is a device like this. Oh, this one, DS9016HUHI. Oh, this is a DVR. Oh, all right. This is a DVR. Oh, this is a 4K, 5K high resolution. So with the model number, you can tell. So with this SADP, you can monitor, you can see all devices on your network, but it's just for iVision products. So if if your organization, for instance, is using another kind of cameras, they will have their own software. The other has its own software, their own searching tool. All right. So, but there is a software called Advanced IP Scanner. You can Google it. As a matter of fact, you should Google it and try and check it on your phone and read about it. It's just like this tool, like this SADP, but it's open to every software. You can detect anything on your network, any IP address, and scan, all the network IP address on your network and show you the IP address and their other information about their MAC address. So as an admin person, you have to have a tools that you are familiar with to check and scan your network. So this for Igvision products. You can check that advanced IP scanner for other brands and other products. It's very important. Then this is IVMS for the 200. It's still by Igvision product. It basically, hacked at the server. They call their own intelligent video management software. It's a server that helps to manage, record, analyze, playback, monitor, do some smart functions for a camera. It's a window-based software. You can download it. They have for Mac, they have for Windows. You run it on your computer and you can discover any iGvision product on your network. You can add them, you can view them on your system. All right? So it's very important to understand this. Then most manufacturers have their own software also. So you have to know that okay, any brand you're working with, they have their software. For e-vision product is IVMS. Right? So also for remote viewing, they have different software for viewing your camera from anywhere in the world. As a matter of fact, every manufacturer have their own special software. So you need to understand that I I have this product, check their manual, check their guide, and get the software that works with their product to not have problem. So as a CCTV operator, you have to have all this information. You have to be very equipped. So once you enter your workplace or your field of work or you are conversing among your peers, you should have an edge. That is the essence of this course. So you can have a there can be like a clear difference between a trained operator and a quack or somebody that just sitting down and watching screen. That's beyond. That is your work is beyond. Is more than that. All right. So that's the essence of this training. All right. So we have third-party VMS software. This is a VMS software. What is a VMS software? VMS means video management software that basically used to manage videos. But this particular one is from another manufacturers called Milestone. Milestone is a big brand when it comes to video softwares. They just make video softwares and they sell it to camera manufacturers or camera, integrator or installers or professionals, right? So there are a lot of them in the market. We have the VMS by Milestones, then we have this other one by Genius Vision. They too have their own software. This is their own software interface. So wherever you are working or wherever you are going to apply for work, they will have their system they are using, but they all work on the same principle. You have to know that the all same principle, all of them. You get so we have to know. Because they can ask in an interview question, tell us about the VMS software you have worked with. Because I'm going to be showing you practical of all these things. You can tell them, oh, I've worked with iVision, IVMS. I've worked with, Milestone by, yeah, that's a VMS by Milestone. I've worked with it. I've worked with this other one by Genius Vision, VMS by Genius. They will know that this person knows what he's saying, right? And that's an edge for you. But let it be practical, which we're going to be showing you, in this course. All right. Thank you very much. This is the end of this particular lesson. I'll see you in the next lesson. Welcome back to this course. This is 3.2. We'll be talking about AI smart functions for surveillance technology. Basically, AI enhances CCTV system. With technology nowadays, with advanced features like motion detection. We have motion detection in our cameras now all over the world. Any camera in this world that doesn't have motion is not a camera. Yeah. Okay. So we have also auto tracking. Auto tracking basically follows you. So it senses a woman like a human being, then lock the camera to you. Then anywhere you go, it just moves and follow you. It can be set by default, or once you know somebody that is very always behaving very funny as a CCTV operator, you can lock your camera on the person to, so your camera can follow the person wherever the person goes and is recording the person and capturing whatever the person is doing as far as they are in your facility. So you have to know all these features and functions, and you're able to, set them up. By default, they are always on the camera, so you can just enable the auto tracking. Then also the motion settings, the motion detection, you can just enable it and increase the sensitivity. So it can be sensitive. The downside is that when leaves are moving, it can also be recording leaves. Then we have the facial recognition. It basically detects and verifies faces for security access or reasons. For instance, we have a situation somewhere in a lounge, in a club in Lagos. A particular guy comes to rob. Then after like 6 months, he will come back. So what they agree at the lounge was that let's get something like this solution. So get the guy's face and put it on the camera. So anytime the camera detects the guy's face, it should it should beep, it should make a sound, or just send a mail, or just beep, make a very loud sound, so we can be able to apprehend the guy. Because he comes to rob, he goes and come back after like 1 year or 6 months or 3 months, depending, or he change location. So we can share the footage around the clubs in Lagos. So any club owners, if they see that face, they can just apprehend the guy because there's a community for that. So that's what we're able to do, but we've not still, apprehend the guy, right? So that's face recognition. So let's look at object detection. This basically recognizes vehicles, people, or specific items. Like it can differentiate between human and vehicles and cars. You know, this video is just for like example. Like can say, okay, this is a cap, this is a plate. It can identify. It's a very smart AI function. You can even play back only vehicles. You can play back only human. So it just keeps every other area and play back only human being for you and vehicles. All right. We'll show you at the practical section so you can see all these things, playing out. All right. And this is the auto tracking uh, practical. So you basically move the camera automatically moves around and follow you anywhere you go. So the camera that has this function has to be a PT camera. It might not have Z, it might not be able to zoom, but a PT that it can pan and can tilt. So it can follow you wherever the person goes. Right? Then we have behavioral analysis. It basically detects unusual activities like loitering or crowd formation. It can detect and notify the surveillance room, looking at behaviors of analyzing everything that is going on at that particular location. These are functions that are set on the camera. They come, with the camera. You have to buy a camera that has all these functions. All right? It's very important you understand this part. Let's assume you want to do people counting. You have to buy a people counting camera. If you want to do like a face detection camera for a club, like the scenario I just painted, you have to buy a camera that can do face detection and compare faces, and it can be linked to an alarm. Meaning that if you see that particular face, what should the camera do? You can set it that once you see that face again, trigger an alarm. So these are functions of cameras, and they are quite expensive. So you have to buy camera based on the problem you're trying to solve. Right? So this is very important. You have to pay attention to this particular part because every camera anywhere in the world you find yourself now, it has to have some smarts, in fact, the latest functions. But you as a base, as a new employee of the organization, you have to know the basics, even the advanced. So take your time, research on different AI smart function that camera can have nowadays. There are a lot of them, you cannot finish counting. There are the basics that you should understand, which are what we just listed in this course now. This is the end of this module 3. Thank you for following up. I'll see you in module 4. Bye for now. Welcome back to module 4. In this module 4, we'll be talking about operational techniques and survey methodology for CCTV operators. It's very important to pay attention to this section. This module will cover the key techniques for effectively managing and operating a CCTV system. What you have to do is very important. Number one, let's look at the monitoring procedures as a CCTV operator. You have to be able to monitor live surveillance, live video, live footages, right? Continuously monitor feed for real-time security. You have to sit down and just watch all your cameras real-time. Then you should be able to use your mouse to do multi-screen. You can click 4 channel, 4 view, 8 view, 16 view. You can just segment all the camera view from your mouse or using your joystick. It's very important. We'll show you the practical. Then motion-based alert. You should be able to set up notification for detected movement. So once there's motion, the camera make an alert. You should be able to set that up and understand how it works. We're going to show you in practical how to set up all those motion and the alert. Then event logging. You should be able to record incidents with timestamp for easy retrievals. For instance, date and time has to be correct. You have to enable the timestamp on your camera footage on all channels. You have to pay attention to that part because once the date and time is not correct, your footage will not make a complete meaning. They can deny it that this happened last 3 months, so you cannot, you know, uh, make claim for anything. So it's very important to set your date and time, and you enable timestamp. Let's be showing on the camera screen. Okay. So remote monitoring, you have to understand how to do remote access. That's how to access the CCTV footage via mobile apps or via web platform is very important. We'll show you how to do it. It's a basic product, you know. All right, let's go straight to the next. We'll be talking about survey. What is a survey? Or what is a CCTV survey? Basically, this is for new installation, for a fresh installation. Like if you're asked to go and assess a site for CCTV installation, you have to carry out a survey. So a survey is a site visit that is carried out by a professional provider of security systems to get an in-depth understanding of the business bespoke requirements. That is your client requirements. You have to recognize system objectives and identify potential challenges. So you have to know your client requirements. What do they want? What do they want to achieve with the security camera they're about to install? So you have to do a sketch of the entire space and solve the problem by positioning your camera different, at different locations, the outdoor cameras, the indoor cameras, the angle you want to cover, where you're putting your control room, you ask them about their storage requirements and all, how many more do they want to store videos, okay? So this is very important. So we have the process. We have a process for a survey. So you have to look at the pre-assessment, which is, which aim to uh, provide a potential audience a good solution to solve their problem. So it gives you a better understanding of the business, right? Of the business of your customers. You have an idea of what they want to achieve. Okay, maybe there is a robbery, or there is always they are selling maybe luxury items. People are always coming to steal. You have an idea, pre-assessment. So you have to know their problem before you visit the site. All right. It could involve reviewing the business online to understand the brand. Like I said, if it's a luxury brand that sell wristwatches or gold, chains, you have to check them online. And so when you get there, you have an idea already to, on the kind of camera to deploy. Motion detection cameras, you want to deploy intrusion detection, so you can draw a rectangle around these items, and anybody that goes there, the camera can trigger an alarm. So it's important to understand all these things. And the main assessment, you have to provide. Providers should look to address the following aspects during the survey. These are the things you have to solve when you go for a survey. You have to look at indication of typical light level. How is the light in that area? Your camera should not face sunlight, for instance. If the area is facing directly to the sunlight, you can look for a way to position your camera in an angle that will not face sunlight, because sunlight will distort, it will affect, it can even damage your camera, the lens over time. So once you go to a site survey, you saw a camera that is meant to face the sun, you can plan for repositioning, maybe introducing a pole or another better angle. Then you can plan your cable route to the control room. It's very important. All right. Then you look at the surveillance zones. The surveillance zones. Oh, maybe all these corners, zone one, you put them on the switch. All these other floor, you can do them floor by floor. For instance, in skyscrapers of about 10-story building, you can do each floor, one switch, one rack. You plan it from the beginning. All right. You look at the IT network assessment. You look at the power, you know, requirements. So once you are done with all these things, you collect all this data. You go back to the backend. You can now do post assessment, which now requires you to do a proposal, do a quotation, do a detailed, diagram to be able to get the jobs. Then sometimes you can do all these things online by asking like a question, getting a question from the customer for a small amount of jobs. But if it's a big space, you might have to physically go there. Maybe it's a small space, you can just ask question online, do like a questionnaire, you get the feedback about all these things. Then this will now help you to, you know, decide on the solution to give them, all right, to solve their problem. It's always good you go there, yourself. But since sometimes due to problem or distance or issues, you can decide not to go, right? But you'll be limited with the information you are going to be getting, and that will not allow you to make a right decision or judgment for that project. All right. So this is the end of this particular lesson. See you in the next lesson. Welcome back to this class. This is 4.2, where we'll be talking about the real-time incident detection and response by CCTV operator. It's very important to understand this part. Okay. So real-time incident detection and response, you have to be able to attend to situation real time. via automated alerts, which is like motion detection, intrusion detection, or you know some kind of funny movement around. So the AI, the system would notify you and should be able to respond real time. For instance, you can set your DVR or your NVR to beep in the control room once there's a you know like an intruder around, or once there's a vehicle that enters the MD's car park. So the channel where that camera that has MD car park is will beep on the screen. That's a real-time incident detection and response. So once you look at that channel and you see that this is this car, you can call the security agency, the security guys, go and look at that car park. This is not supposed to, this car is not supposed to park here. That car park is reserved for the MD, something like that. So immediate response is very important. As an operator, you have to understand that. And also live monitoring, you know, security personnel track incidents as they happen. As you're seeing them, you are using your walkie-talkie. So the skill of walkie-talkie is also very important for you because you are radioing the security agencies. In a civilized environment like the Western world or the European world, these are meant to be real time. But most people don't take it serious in Africa. That's why we have a lot of insecurity. People don't take security seriously. It's a very serious business. So once you are seeing funny movement, you are radioing the security agent around that axis to put high, watch this person. So you are stopping, a crime before it happened. All right. So you are preventing a crime by using the live monitoring functions. The instant playback. Every NVR or DVR has that function as a feature. So just playback like a quick playback of like 3 minutes or 1 minute event as it's happening. All right. So you can quickly analyze it and make meaning from it, whether you're going to be calling the security agencies or the security personnel around that vicinity or not. So these instant playback functions, you have to understand it. We will demo it for you. We'll just show you the clicks once we get to that practical section. Also, the two-way audio. There are a lot of smart camera now we have in the market. We also have a lot that we're going to be using in the practical session. You can talk to an intruder. You can say something to them like, hey, what are you doing there? Leave that place now. Leave that place now. They will leave because the camera has a two-way audio functions. You can hear and you can speak to them from the control room. As a matter of fact, there are some solutions that will introduce a speaker, like a speaker, a very loud speaker. So from the control room, you can speak. Some camera can be integrated to a speaker. So you are seeing and you are talking and they are hearing you. All right. So you can have two-way audio communication to chase your intruders. As a CCTV operator, you have to understand that part also. Then emergency response. You need to know how to notify the authorities so they can activate security measures immediately. All right. So you have to develop a very good rapport and relationship with whoever is on duty. In fact, with all the security personnel, and you have to synergize and work together as a team. So when something happens, you radio them immediately. They take action. So your own job is just to watch, observe, and pass information to the security personnel. It could be an estate, it could be in a metro, it could be in a stadium, it could be in a campus area, it could be in a church, it could be anywhere. So there are security personnel that are walking around with a walkie-talkie. So this CCTV operator is manning the equipment room, watching everything real time, sharing information across to the security guards on the field, so they can act, they can have information. If, for instance, an intruder is bringing like a weapon, they will have seen it on the camera. They will have informed the security, personnel to quickly take action, whether to move or to avoid that particular incident. Right? So that's one of your role as a security operator, as a CCTV operator. So this is the end of this particular lesson. I'll see you in the next lesson. Thank you. This is 4.3. Welcome back to this class. We're talking about the tools, equipment, and apparatus that will be used and managed by a CCTV operator in the control room. Depending on the control room, there are different kind of equipment. There are some basic equipment that you have to see, in almost every control room. They are peculiar to every control room. Number one, you have to have a very good screen, you know, a very good monitor, which is used for, which display live and recorded footage from the cameras. It might be a video wall sometimes. Some might be, the concept of video wall, we'll get there. It's basically arrays of screens of monitors that link together to form one big, huge screen. Okay, so you have to understand that you are going to be working with a lot of monitors, watching multiple screens at the same time. All right, and also the joystick. The joystick is a device that is basically used for controlling uh, your camera. You can select camera one and move it with that gear. You can select camera two on the button and move it around. Moving it around in the sense that you can move it to the left, to the right. You can pan and tilt and zoom. So the PTZ means pan, tilt, and zoom. So you can use your joystick to carry out these panning, tilting, and zooming functions. It's very important to understand that. Then you play, with VMS a lot. Depending on the organization you are working with or you are applying for, they have their own system. But trust me, Ignition is a very popular VMS that you might probably see in almost every organization, depending on the country you are, going to be applying for, or you are traveling to, or the company in Nigeria you are working with, or anywhere you find yourself, anywhere in the world. So you work with a lot of VMS software. It could be Ignition software, it could be Genus Vision, it could be Daoa platform or their software, it could be Milestone. So they all work on the same principle. That's what I want you to know. Then also walkie-talkie for radio communication. You communicate with your security personnel. Oh yeah, you have to go there. You have to go and check what's going on there. You have to learn to use it and communicate to your subordinates and your peers. Then also the storage backup device. Some organization will just give you a flash drive or like a external hard drive just for you to back up all the devices, all the video footages for evidence sake. You have to back everything up. I can report and give it to the security agencies for investigation. So it's either they give you backup like this for centrally backing up all the video, or they will just say that they will extract. When something happens, they extract to the flash drive or external hard drive, then you copy it inside for investigation, depending on the organization policy. So any company you are going to be going to work, they will have their policy. So once you join them, you have to work based on their policy. So this is very important. All right. We don't want to take a lot of time. Thank you very much. See you in the next class, the next module. Bye.